Well, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. We have the final game, the Super Bowl for the 24-25 NFL football season. This is for all the marbles here. We're going to have the Kansas City Chiefs facing off versus the Philadelphia Eagles. It's never too early to start breaking this game down, looking at the rosters, keeping up with the best bets, the spread, the money line, the over-under, keeping track of the teams, keeping track of the injuries, and trying to early predict the outcome to this game. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to break down who we think is going to win, lose, and also what the final score will be. First things first, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you're a sports fan, a football fan, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. This is it. We have Super Bowl 59 coming up. It's a rematch of Super Bowl 57. We know that was a very controversial Super Bowl, but the Chiefs pulled it out crunch time like they always do, like they continue to do. When it matters the most, this veteran experience squad steps up. They make the plays when they need to. They won 57, they won 58. Now they're going for 59. Back to back Super Bowls, the first team to ever do that. Will they be able to pull it off in 2 weeks? They have to get through the Philadelphia Eagles, one of the most rounded, if not the most rounded team in the NFL this season. Offense, defense, throwing the ball, running the ball, quite possibly the best offensive line in the nation with the best running back in the nation, a guy who could have broken the all-time rushing record this season, but opted to sit out Week 18. He didn't care about the record. He wanted to make sure those legs were fresh, they were healthy for a Super Bowl run. Guys, they made the Super Bowl, and now they have a chance to potentially win it. There is no friendship shared between these two teams, between these two fan bases. The nation is split down the middle on who they want to win this game. Do they want Patrick Mahomes to get his third straight Super Bowl, to cement himself up there with Tom Brady in that GOAT level conversation? And then you have the Eagles. They want to cap this amazing season they had. They want to get revenge for what their fan base thinks they were robbed in Super Bowl 57. But hey, they have the opportunity to make up for that right here. They were a really good team 2 years ago, but this team is a way better version of the team that made the Super Bowl back in, what was that, 2022? This is going to be a fun game, though. No matter who wins this game, I do think this game is going to go down to the end. It's going to potentially go down to that final possession, which makes it really hard to predict. It's hard to predict who's going to have the ball last when the game hasn't even happened, but let's go ahead and break it down. February 9th. Super Bowl 59 is going to be at 6:30 p.m. It's going to be in New Orleans at the Caesar Superdome. The 15-2 Kansas City Chiefs, what a great season they had. 17 straight one-possession wins. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know, but one thing I do know is never apologize for a win. That just lets you know if this game is close, if this game is a close one-possession back-and-forth game. The Chiefs are used to that. That's just another Sunday for them. They know how to pull off those wins. This is a veteran, experienced squad. I keep saying that because you have to account for that. That is worth probably, I'd say, 4 to 5 points right there on the spread, just having this veteran team. They've been there before. No matter if they get down, they know how to fight their way back. They know how to hold on to a lead. They know how to capture a lead and hold it in the fourth quarter, keeping their foot on the gas. And then you have the Eagles here who can practically match them. They are 14-3. That's obviously nothing to scoff at. This team is extremely talented, especially on the offensive side. They have some strengths that are going to match up very good versus the Kansas City weaknesses, but Kansas City also has some strengths that could potentially exploit some of the weaknesses with the Philadelphia Eagles. Right now, the fan vote on ESPN, the Eagles have a 56.2% chance to win this game, and the Chiefs have a 43.8%. But Vegas is the completely opposite way. Right now, Kansas City, 1.5 point favorites in Vegas. The over in here is 49.5. And that makes perfect sense here for them to be 1.5 point favorites. Because like I was saying, this game's practically a 50-50 pick'em. This game could go either way. It's probably going to go down to that fourth quarter, that final possession. When you're looking at the Chiefs, where their strengths are is their front seven, their defensive front. They're going to get after it. They have a solid defense. They have Jones. They're going to get a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts. Top 10 in sacks, top 10 in tackles for a loss, top 10 in quarterback pressures. They have a very good, a top 5 rush defense right now. Their goal, shut down the Eagles' number 2 rush offense in the NFL. Obviously, that's easier said than done, but that's going to be their focus this entire game for 4 quarters. But will they be able to control Saquon Barkley and that run game? Not over 1, not 2, not 3. You have to shut them down and control them over 4 quarters. That's going to be really hard. Saquon Barkley obviously had an amazing season this year, but he's been even better in the playoffs. They're running for about 250 yards in the playoffs this season, putting up video game numbers throughout the playoffs on the steepest competition. They just blew the brakes off of the Washington Commanders. Not saying that they were, the Patriots back when they had Tom Brady, but the Washington Commanders, very solid team, solid offense, average defense. They beat the crap out of them. Won that one 55-23, but Kansas City, they're also coming in hot right now. They had that win over the Buffalo Bills. They played a really good team with a legit offense, the number 2 offense in the NFL. They were able to control them for a lot of that game, especially at the line of scrimmage, particularly in the short yardage situations. 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, no matter what you think about the referee calls. And trust me, guys, as an unbiased person, I'm not a fan of either team. I'm just a football fan. I just want a good, clean game. I don't really necessarily care who wins this game. I just want to watch some good football. I am a fan of great quarterback play. So I just hope we have a good game. We have great quarterbacks, and it's not a blowout, but it's a close, hard-fought game. No matter what you think about those referee calls, none of that is going to carry you over into this game. That doesn't help you the next game. That doesn't hurt you the next game. No matter what, both teams, fresh start this game. It's going to be who wins this Sunday at the Super Bowl, and it's going to be a fun one. Obviously, the Eagles, they have a lot going for them. They have a great offensive line. They have Saquon Barkley. They have Jalen Hurts. They have a quarterback who can throw it. He can run it. And they have that tush-push where the Bills were not able to get push on the 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. I don't think the Eagles are going to have a problem. That's their specialty. That's their strength, is getting the 1 yard down. They have the tush-push. Hurts never fails. You know it's coming. You know where he's going. He can point it out to you and say, right here, they're still going to get it. It really doesn't matter. When they can do that, they can control time of possession. They can extend plays. But more importantly, they can keep the ball out of the Kansas City Chiefs, out of Patrick Mahomes' hands. Right now, the Eagles, they have the weapons. They have the weapons on offense. They have the weapons on the offensive line. Johnson, Dickerson, Juergens, so many weapons, very deep on the offensive line. Yes, they have some injuries on the team as a whole, but they have the depth to where they should be able to overcome them. Kansas City, right now, they're averaging 22.6 points a game, obviously led by the great Patrick Mahomes, who has not thrown an interception since week 11. He's been playing his best football right now, but that's what we know they were going to do. Started out the first half pretty questionable. Second half, they've taken the game to another level because they were gearing up, getting ready for the playoffs. They knew that they had to turn it on when it mattered most. That's what they've been doing. They throw for 222.4. They run for 105.3. They're only giving up 19.2 points a game. That is a top 6 defense in the NFL. They get after it. They give up 218.8 through the air. So where you want to attack Kansas City is vertically through the air. But in order to do that, you got to have time to push the ball down the field. That's where the Chiefs make up for it. Like I mentioned earlier, top 10 in quarterback pressures. They get after you. They try to force things from you. They try to force errant throws that could potentially lead into turnovers, interceptions. They're only giving up 101.8 on the ground. Their strength is that rush defense, a top 5 rush defense in the NFL. But that is the Eagles' specialty. This is strength on strength. All of these games always come down to the lines. The line of scrimmage, who's going to win this game in the trenches, trench warfare. It's going to be the Chiefs defensive line versus the lauded Eagles offensive line. If the Eagles get a lot of push on the offensive line, it's going to be a long day because, trust me, they can run the clock out. They can have 7 to 8 minute possessions and just completely dominate this game. Keep the game low scoring and just run it down your throat. So Kansas City's front 7, you're really going to have to step up here. For the Eagles, obviously they have Jalen Hurts. The guy was banged up for a lot of the season. At the end, kind of banged up throughout the playoffs, but as of right now, he's supposed to be 100%. When he's 100%, he's keeping their turnovers down. That's what separates this Eagles team from last year's Eagles team. Barkley comes in. Hurts has been playing good, clean, consistent football throughout the entire season. Right now, they're averaging 27.2 points a game. That is a top 7 offense. They're throwing for 187.9. The number 2 rush team in the nation, running for 179.3. And that's what's going to make the difference here is them consistently being able to move the ball on the ground, not just with Saquon Barkley, but with what Jalen Hurts can do, extending plays, rolling the pocket out, potentially scrambling for those first downs. If he's fully healthy, no concussion problem, no knees problem, he's going to be really hard. They can run it 3 straight downs, and on 4th and 1, they're going to go for it. At some point, the Chiefs are going to have to stop that tush push because the Eagles are going to nonstop be going for it 3rd and 1, and especially 4th and 1. But it's that defense. They're only giving up 17.8 points a game. We always talk about Hurts. We always talk about Barkley. We don't want to overlook the number 1 defense in the NFL. Much better than in Super Bowl 57. They're only giving up 17.8 points a game. That's probably this team's saving grace. The run game gets all the credit, but we got to look at that defense. This defense can carry this team through this game, keep this game close, and hopefully maybe even hand the ball to the Eagles that final possession, and that's when it could matter the most. Right now, they're only giving up 174.2 passing yards per game. This is one of the best secondaries, if not the best secondary in the NFL. They get after it. They're going to make it hard for the Chiefs to push the ball vertically down the field, but obviously, Patrick Mahomes, he's keeping the turnovers down. He's a smart quarterback. He can also extend plays with his legs. He's not the runner that Hurts is, but he's a very suspiciously hard to get down quarterback when he scrambles. And they're only giving up 104.2 on the ground, which is a top 8 rush defense in the NFL. Looking at the playmakers, obviously, we know who the Chiefs playmakers are. They have Patrick Mahomes. They have Pacheco. They have Hunt. They have Kelsey. They have Brown. They have Worthy. They have those vertical weapons now healthy. Stretch the ball down the field. Hopefully that will open up the short intermittent passing game. That's where the Chiefs have to attack the Eagles. Not on the rushing side, but the short passing game. That's what it's going to be very hard for Mahomes to have time to push the ball down the field. It's going to be hard to get those guys open, but if you can dink and dunk the Eagles to death, you definitely have a path to victory there. And for the Eagles, we know their weapons. Jalen Hurts, the best running back in the nation, Saquon Barkley. They have Smith. They have Brown. They have Dallas at tight end. This team is deep. This is a really good wide receiver core. Some might say the best wide receiver core in the NFL. Will they be able to take advantage of their weapons? Will Hurts be forced into making bad decisions that could doom the Eagles here? And the Chiefs have the defensive front 7. They can definitely try to get some pressure on him and try to force the Eagles into those 3rd and long situations, as taking them out of their comfort zone. They don't want to be a pass first team. They don't want to be a pass heavy team. Chiefs have to force them into that. Eagles have to make sure to stay out of that. Get that run game going. Do whatever you have to do to scheme it. It's going to put a lot of things on Kellen Moore. You got to scheme a great rushing attack for this game. That is your path to victory. So what's the outcome we have? I kind of flip-flop back and forth on this game. It's a tough one to call. But at the end of the day, as of right now, barring some changes, I have the Eagles getting the Super Bowl victory. They win this one 30-27. They split it with the Chiefs 1-1. Maybe there's going to be a round 3 coming up soon, but I have the Eagles getting the win here. Still great season for both teams no matter what happens. We will revisit this game later. Spread will change. There'll be more news coming out about the rosters, but guys, make sure to drop a comment below and let me know, do you agree? Disagree? I also have my Twitter handle below. Make sure to follow us there and make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.